Hello, I'm Rick Wegley, and welcome to this edition of Ask NCM, where we do our best to address questions that come to us from our clients from around the country. This week's question came up is, do you view manufacturer recalls as a burden or as an opportunity? Well, possibly a bit of both. You know, it used to be recalls, we seemed like kind of plugged up our shop with a lot of busy work, if you want to call it that. But when you look at it, really, it's a high productive operation because most of the parts we have in stock, well, for most manufacturers, and there's usually very little to no diagnosis involved. So if we look at it as an opportunity or is it a burden? Well, I'd like to share a story. One of the dealers I was working with had customers that were coming in with vehicles for a campaign, and he noticed that those vehicles had been purchased new at his dealership in 2011 and 2012, and they may have come back for a couple of service visits since they bought the vehicle, and then we haven't seen them in a while, but now all of a sudden 18 to 24 months later they're coming back in to get a warranty repair done on recall on the vehicle. And I asked him, I said, is that a burden or is that an opportunity? And he thought about it for a second and he says, I'm not sure. And I said, well, what are we doing with those customers? Are we just taking care of the recall? And we had the conversation because they had some repair order decline in customer pay. And I asked him, I said, you know, have you possibly taken a moment to set aside and let your advisors know that you'd like to have an opportunity to do a personal introduction with some of those customers that are coming in, particularly the ones that had bought from us, serviced with us, and then had stopped coming to us? And to coach him on that, I said, you know, it might be great to come up and say, hey, Mr. Smith, you know, my name is Rick, and I noticed that you haven't had your vehicle in here in a little while, and I'm the new service manager here at the store, but I wanted to ask you, you bought it here new, and you did a few services with us, but we haven't seen you in a while. Can I ask you why? And then be quiet and get ready because they're going to unload on you and tell you exactly why they haven't been back to your dealership. But if that's the case, is that a burden or is that an opportunity? You know, in my case, I look at that as an opportunity perhaps to regain a customer that we may have lost. If you don't ask, you're not going to know. Thank you for joining me today. And if you have a question you'd like to have us answer on a future episode of Ask NCM, please email your request to askncm@ncmassociates.com.